Welcome back from that commercial break. And we are continuing with our discussion about quadratic equations. Now, they have given us a question that form quadratic equation for the following in terms of x. Now, they have given us these values in terms of x, and they want us to get the quadratic equation for this. And for that case, we say that the quadratic equation is in form of x squared plus bx. This is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Whereby this one we say the product is got from multiplying the a times the value of c. Then this is the product. Then the sum is the number which is in the middle, which is here the sum. So for that case, they want us to get the quadratic equation for these values which they have given us in terms of x. Now for that case, what we do, they say that the first equation is x equals p out of q. So for this case, what we are going to do, we take this one the other side. Take the one which is in the right hand side to the left hand side, which is x equals x minus p out of q equals 0. So this one will be our first part which we are going to consider. Also we go to the second one. They say that also x is the same as the q out of p. So for this case, it will be, after taking this one this side, it will be x minus q out of p, so equals 0. So those are the 2 points which we have. Now for this case, remember when you are solving these equations, you find that the answers which you get after solving a quadratic equation, there are 2 answers because of this component of a square. So that means here they have given us the answers. Now they want us to form equations from that answers. So for that case, what we do, we just combine this one and this. By multiplying this one times this, then you equate to the common thing which is a 0. Since everything equals 0, we can equate them to 0. So we said we multiply, which is x minus p out of q, then times x minus q out of p, then will give us 0. So this is what I'm talking about, that it is a combination of this one and this one, then it will give us a 0 by multiplying the 2. So for this case, we have to open the bracket as usual, get this one multiplied with the whole bracket, which is x into x minus q out of p. Then you introduce now the sign which is here. If it is a plus, you say plus. If it is minus, it is a minus. So for this case, it is minus p out of q into x minus q out of p. So that must give us a 0. So this is what we do. This one multiplied the whole bracket, also this one multiplied by the whole bracket. So for that case, we are here now. We have to open up the brackets by multiplying in the value which is outside the bracket, those one which is inside. So for this case, we shall have this one times this, which is x squared, then this one times this, which is minus q out of p, x. So we are this side now, this one we have finished. We have to open also the brackets this side. You also consider the signs which is here. So you say negative p out of q times x, you get minus p out of q x. Then also say this negative, this one times negative this, which is a positive, because the negative times negative you get a positive. So for this case, it will be this times this, which becomes p out of q times q out of p. So must give us a 0. So we are saying that here we have a common thing. This one and this one, if we try to reduce, this one and this one will go, also this one and this will go, so it remains with 1. So for that case, when we are continuing, we shall say that it is x squared minus, because it is a minus and a minus, so we shall add the 2. It is minus minus add. So which is this one plus this, which is minus into bracket q out of p, then plus p out of q x. Because why we have said minus into bracket? Because a minus is common in 2, and we are seeing that also x is common, so we factor out that common thing, we remain with the one which is not common inside. So here it will be plus 1 equals 0. So here you can continue just by getting the LCM. Then we say it will be x squared minus, so we are getting LCM between this one and this. The LCM will be PQ out of, so we also take the LCM and we get the one which is at the numerator. So this one will be divided by this, you get Q, which times this one you get Q squared. So also this one divided by this, you get a P times that, which is plus P squared. So times that value of x plus 1 equals 0. So now we are there. Don't leave your answer like this. You have to first deal with this denominator. So what we do, we also make this one to be out of 1, also this one out of 1. So we get also the LCM again on the whole equation. Then what we do, after getting the LCM, we multiply all through by the LCM, which will give us something like, when the LCM, if the LCM is PQ, because from here, here, and here it is PQ, so multiply with PQ on all the values of the equation. So when you multiply this one, it will be PQ x squared, then minus into bracket q squared plus p squared, then times that value of x, then plus, when you multiply the pq times 1, which is a pq, so will give us a 0. So now when they say that get the sum and the product, we said the sum is got from the value which is in the middle, but here you take, if it is a negative, you take it as a positive. If it is a positive, take it as a negative. That is the sum. So when they say the product is say this one times this. So for that case, when you say this times this, you get the sum as the product as p squared q squared. So that's how you can form a quadratic equation when you have given these points. So we go to the next equation, which is this one. You do it also as the way we did the other one. It is the same thing. So for that case, for this case, we are going to go to the other one. They have said x is equal to this one, and also x is equal to that. So that's what we are going to see. So now we are looking at this one. They have said that B is that x equals 2 out of 4. So the first thing here, they have given you in a mixed fraction. What you are going to do, you are going to first change it to an improper fraction. So that means here our value x will be equal to, when you are changing to an improper, it is this one times this, then plus the one which is up. So which is 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 1, which is 9 out of 4. So that one will be our first point. So we said we don't leave it like this. We have to take the one which is this side to the other side, which is x minus 9 out of 4. So must be equated to 0. So we don't have only this, but we have also another point which was being given, which is x equals 5 whole number 3 out of 4. So also this one have changed it to improper fraction. So which is x equals this times this, which is 20 plus 3, which is 23 out of 4. So we said also this one take it to the other side, so x minus 23 out of 4. So will give us a 0. So we said after reaching here, we have to multiply the 2. Multiply the 2 so that we can equate it to 0 to get the value, the quadratic equation which we need. So here it will be x minus 9 out of 4. So times the x minus 23 out of 4. So must give us a 0. So now we have to multiply these two brackets. So it is this one times this, so which will give us x squared. Then this times this. We are multiplying x times this one, which is negative 23 out of 4. Negative 23 out of 4 x. So now we are here, the negative, this one times this, which is negative 9 out of 4. Then x. So now we are on this one times this. So a negative times negative, which will be a positive. So for that case, it will be plus 9 out of 4 times 23 out of 4. Must give us a 0. So that's how we do it. So for that case, we have to continue, so you cannot leave your answer like this. Then it will be x squared. Then this one and this one is a negative. So firstly, factor out the negative. Then you remain with this, so it will be now a positive. When you add this one plus this, so which will give us 32 out of the 4x. So now we are this side, the 9 times this one, when say 23 times 9. So this one will give us, that is 7, as 27, take a 2 the other side. So this one is 9 times a 2, which is 18, plus that one, which is 207. So for this case, it will be plus 207 out of 16, which is equal to 0. So now when is it here, we said don't leave your answer like this. We have to get the LCM first, then we multiply all through by the LCM. Now for this case, the LCM between the 16 and the 4 is 16. So for that case, the LCM is equal to 16. So multiply the 16 all through, which will give us, this side when you multiply by 4, it is 4, it is 16 x squared. So we're multiplying also this one by 16. So when you multiply this one by 16, the 4 will cross with the 16, so you remain with the something minus 4 times 32. Then x, then plus 16, when you divide 16 by 16, you get, you remain with only the 207, which is equal to 0. So then you multiply this one, which is 64, which is that is 16x squared minus 128 x, then plus 207, which is equal to 0. So this is our quadratic equation, which you can get out of this. Now we have ended this part. Thank you.